Alright, you can see the keys down below. So Shift A to add a cube, Control 1 to add subdivision of level 1, and with Control A I can apply the modifier. Go to sculpt mode and select this brush, draw facet. Click and drag and it's going to draw facet. And if you let go of the mouse click and click again, it's going to draw a new one. We don't want a new one, so hold Control and click on the old one and drag. It's going to draw the same facet like so. And for the front view, we're going to draw a new one and click and drag on the bottom, and same on the back. Now I'm going to go out of scope mode, hit Control 3 and apply subdivision of level 3. At this point I can zoom in and go to scope mode. You can see that the facets are sharp. So with mesh filter I can select relax facets, click and drag, and it's going to smooth the facet like so. And if I go out of my sculpt mode, I can apply level 3 subdivision, and if I go to my front view, you can see it's not a nice sphere, so I'm going to add a cast modifier. It's going to cast this as a perfect sphere, but I'm going to apply this first, so before subdivision. Now at this point you can continue with the tutorial. So if I duplicate this on x-axis, you can see that if I go to sculpt mode and relax this one more time, excuse me, I need to apply this subdivision. So Control A, apply this, and then relax this, and now it's nice and smooth. And if I go to mask, there's an option in mask from face set boundary. If I click this, it's going to create a mask on the face set boundary. Hit A and grow mask, hit A again and invert the mask. With mesh filter you can come and select inflate, click and drag leftwards, and it's going to inflate inward. And at this point you press A and clear mask, and you can work with this if you add a subdivision. So subdivision surface, and there we go. Now there's a little bit of pinching, this because of the wireframe and the topology, and I'm going to show you a method using Quadrimesh how to get good edge flow. So at this point you can continue with this thing, but I'm going to show you a different method. So go out of scope mode, I'm just going to delete this one, and with this one I'm going to apply subdivision. So sphere, nice. Go to scope mode and smooth the facet. So relax facet like so. Now Quadrimesh has this option to use materials as edge flow. So what I'm gonna do is, you guys can turn on this modifier called facet, this one, turn this on, and in the facet you're gonna get new option which is facet to material. So click this, and then down here you can see there are two materials. Now if I press N, bring my N panel and find my Quadrimesh, there's an option to use materials. So I'm going to use this, and if I go to my front view you can see it's symmetrical on the x-axis, and if I go to my side view it's symmetrical on the y-axis. So I'm going to turn on Y, and I want polygon half, so I'm going to use 2500 like so, and hit remesh. Give it a second, and there we go. If I go to my front view, bring back my cube and press this one, the toggle x-ray, so I can see, and go to my object layout overlay, and turn on the wireframe. You can see that this is where the edge meets. So if I go to my object mode, this is where it is. I'm going to mark this with blue so you guys can see. And if I disable my wireframe and hide the cube, disable x-ray, so this is the edge. So click, alt click to select the whole loop, and press Ctrl B to bevel this, press Ctrl R to place an edge loop in the middle, and Ctrl B to bevel again, and this time press Alt E and extrude along the normal so it goes inwards like so. Press Ctrl R to place another edge loop. Now this one, it would be better if you mark this as a seam and split the UVs, so you can always come back to use your own custom texture. So Ctrl E, mark seam, and A, select everything, U, and unwrap. And if I go to my UV edit, you can see I have the UVs ready. So go back to layout, and at this point I can apply subdivision of level 2 on top and hit apply. Now if I go to my side view, we need something for the stitches to follow along. So if I press tab to go to edit mode, click and I'll click the seam, shift D and P to separate by selection, which is this one. I'm going to rename this to stitch curve, this one to baseball. So I'm going to select my stitch curve, scale this up just about this edge. So I'm going to eyeball and object, convert this to a curve object as a curve. All we need are the stitches. So I'm going to hide the baseball, go to my top view and spawn a plane. Scale this down. I think this much is fine. Press Ctrl A and apply scale. Edit mode. Select these two vertices and J to join them. Select these two and delete them. Go to front view and select this one, bring it down. Select this one and bring it down. And select these two, Ctrl Shift B to bevel these two like so. Press Ctrl R to place one in the middle. Now convert this to a curve object, and in the curve properties, go to geometry, add a bit of thickness, hold shift while dragging, so something like this. And if I go to my top view and go to edit mode, we want this to be on the other side of origin mode. Select everything with A, G and Y to move this on Y axis, Shift D and Y to move this down on Y axis, and this time press Ctrl M and then Y to mirror this on Y axis. Click and then adjust. I'm going to move this slightly back on X axis like so. Now all you have to do is convert these back into meshes. So object, convert and mesh. Now if we add, at this point I can add array modifier, increase the count, and then select curve modifier and select my curve. Now bring back the baseball, which is this one, and you can see that the stitches are not facing the same direction. They're kind of inverted. So press tab to go to edit mode like so, and turn this button on so you can see them in edit mode like so. Select everything, and I'm gonna go out of extreme mode with this and R, X, and I can keep rotating until I have the nice rotation like so. But now you can see that they're quite far away from the middle and they're quite long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna isolate with slash, forward slash, and then zoom in with period key and press 5 to go to orthographic view, and then I'm just gonna align my camera so these two edges are in the middle. Press Ctrl R. In fact, before I do that, you can see that they're quite far away from the origin point, from the center. So I'm gonna undo before the rotation and press forward slash, and this is what I have before the rotation. So undo. Okay, there we go. Tap to edit mode and click this, bring this closer to the origin point and select this one and bring this closer to the origin point like so. And then they were longer, so we can press Ctrl R to place edge loops and delete the middle one. And top view, bring this one closer. Thing about here is fine. Same on this one, to edge loops, delete the middle one, and in top view, bring this one closer. Yes, this much is fine. Now to join them, go to edge mode, click and alt click to select, and shift and alt click to select the other loop. Shift alt click, like so. But first we have to do this one. So click, select these, Control E, bridge edge loops, and then select these ones and bridge edge loops, like so. Now if I go out of my edit mode, select my curve, which was this one, and bring back my baseball, which is this one. Now I can go to edit mode and rotate them, but I have to turn this on again. So this one, RX, then just eyeball it so it matches RX, and there we go, something like this. So go out of edit mode and increase the number of stitches, like so. Now all we have to do is add the texture. So select this ball, and this time I'm going to add a multi-resolution modifier. So you can always remove this and go back to the low poly. So subdivide this with 2 times, and then add a displacement modifier. Click new, go to textures. You can use clouds. I'm going to use noise. This is too much, so go back to modify and lower this to about 0.01. But this is still too strong, so 0.005. This is nice, so select this, right click and shade smooth. Now you can see that the texture is going inside, but we only want this on the outside. So select this, go to edit mode, and I'll click on this middle edge to select this, and press Ctrl plus to increase the selection. Keep pressing like so, and then go to object data properties and click the plus button and hit assign. Now go out of edit mode. In the displacement, I can select my vertex group, but this only adds it to the middle. If I click this, it's going to invert the effect, and there we have it. Baseball is ready. You can also add seams to this one. If I isolate with / and go to edit mode and zoom in with period key, I can always come and add 2 seams in the middle. Control E, mark seam, Control E, mark seam, and press A, U, and unwrap, and there we have it. We can always add a texture to this one as well. So go back to layout, and you can add subdivision on top, subdivision surface. I mean, 2 is fine. And then you can add the displacement modifier with stripes or anything that you like, and you will get the desired texture effect. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any question, and have fun modeling. Alright guys, sorry I lost the file, but what I want to show you is that you can use a texture on these stitches as well. So I'm using a multi-resolution modifier, and then I'm using displacement modifier, and after that I'm using array and the curve. So if I open my UVs, this button comes with Zen UV, so you might not have this. You might need to go to UV up here. So if I check my UVs for the stitches, if I go to edit mode and isolate with / and zoom in with period key, you can see that I have indeed marked the seams on the stitches. And then I used a free add-on called UniV. I used Zen UV and Quadrify option, but if you don't have Zen UV, there's a free add-on called UniV, and you can find this in extensions, UniV, and install this one. And this one also gives you the option to quadrify. So select all the vertices and hit quadrify. It's gonna do something like this. And now if I look at my texture, go out of edit mode, and if I press / so this is my texture. And one more thing you have to do is go to displacement and change the coordinates from local to UV. This is important, otherwise it might not show up. And if I go to my UVs, you can see that I have this texture. I'm going to link this texture so you guys can use it if you want. And yeah, that's it. That's all you need to do to add uh, the stitches effect. This is a high poly. You can break this down into a low poly, and you can then texture this in Substance Painter. I'm gonna maybe record a marmoset video and hopefully a Substance Painter texture video as well. So thank you for watching.